Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, rain pouring down, winds fierce and unrelenting, and yet somehow you find the strength to stand tall. Your heart beats with unwavering hope, your spirit refuses to break, and deep within, you know there is a purpose for every struggle you face. That strength isn't just born out of resilience, it's rooted in divine power, in faith that refuses to waver, and in the courage to surrender control while trusting the unseen hand guiding your every step. Today, I want to remind you that even in your darkest moments, you are never alone. You carry within you a fire that can never be extinguished, a power that transforms pain into purpose, surrender into strength, and setbacks into setups for something greater. Let's journey together into the truth that your story is still being written, and the best chapters are yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of testing us, pushing us to our limits, challenging our very foundation. But within every challenge lies an opportunity, a chance to discover a strength we never knew we possessed. Today, I want to talk about the extraordinary journey of a woman who, despite the odds, chooses to rebuild her life alone, with courage, faith, and unwavering determination. Resilience is a word that gets tossed around a lot, but what does it truly mean when it's put into action? It's not just about bouncing back from a setback. It's about transforming pain into power, disappointment into determination, and wounds into wisdom. Resilience is the silent strength that whispers to your soul, reminding you that no matter how fierce the storm, you have an unshakable capacity within you to endure, to heal, and to rise again. Imagine for a moment the countless women who have faced overwhelming circumstances, whether it's loss, betrayal, failure, or heartbreak. Each one of them, in her own way, has experienced a moment where she felt completely broken, where the weight of life's burdens threatened to crush her spirit. But what separates those who remain defeated from those who emerge victorious is their ability to tap into an inner reservoir of resilience. Resilience is not something that magically appears. It is cultivated through the choices we make in moments of crisis. A resilient woman understands that setbacks are not the end of her story. They are merely chapters in a larger narrative of growth. She recognizes that even in the midst of difficulty, there is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become stronger. She refuses to allow circumstances to define her or diminish her worth. Instead, she chooses to see challenges as stepping stones, as lessons that are necessary for her evolution. Resilience is born from a deep-rooted belief that you are more than your circumstances. It's about holding on to hope even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Hope is the anchor that keeps you grounded when winds of despair threaten to pull you under. It's the quiet assurance that, despite what you see or feel in the moment, there's a brighter future ahead waiting for you to claim it. This hope fuels your resilience, giving you the strength to persevere when others might give up. But resilience isn't just about mental toughness. It's also about emotional intelligence. It's about allowing yourself to feel pain, to mourn what's lost, and to process your emotions without letting them consume you. Resilient women don't suppress their feelings. They acknowledge them, sit with them, and then choose to move forward. They understand that vulnerability is not weakness. It's a vital part of healing and growth. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open the door for transformation to occur. You give yourself permission to be human, to struggle, and to learn from every experience. In the journey of resilience, faith often plays a pivotal role. It's the unseen force that whispers, "You're not alone," even when everything seems to be working against you. Faith is what sustains you during the long nights when doubts creep in, when fears threaten to overwhelm you, and when the future looks uncertain. It's a reminder that there is a divine purpose behind every struggle, that you are being shaped and refined through the fire. Faith empowers you to keep going, to hold on to hope, and to believe that better days are coming. Resilience is also about perspective. It's about choosing to see obstacles not as dead ends, but as opportunities to grow stronger. It's recognizing that failure is not the opposite of success, but a vital part of it. Every setback is a setup for a comeback if you refuse to stay down. Resilient women understand that their true strength isn't measured by how many times they fall, but by how many times they get back up. They develop a mental toughness that keeps them moving forward. Regardless of the circumstances, this resilience is rooted in a sense of purpose. When you know why you're fighting, why you're enduring, resilience becomes easier to sustain. It's about reconnecting with your why, that deep reason that drives you, that keeps your eyes fixed on the horizon, even when storms rage all around. Purpose fuels resilience because it reminds you that your life has meaning beyond the pain you're experiencing. It gives you a reason to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep believing in a future that is waiting for your victory. Resilience also involves a conscious choice to shift your mindset. Instead of dwelling on what's broken or lost, resilient women focus on what can be rebuilt. They refuse to be defined by their failures, but instead see them as opportunities for renewal. They understand that setbacks are often setups for a greater comeback, and they hold on to that truth with unwavering faith. They embrace the idea that even in the darkest moments, there is a seed of light waiting to be cultivated. This resilience isn't just about individual strength, it's about community as well. Resilient women often find strength in shared stories, in uplifting others, and in knowing that they are part of something bigger than themselves. But at the core, it begins with a fierce commitment to oneself, to believe that, despite everything, you are worthy of love, of healing, and of a life beyond your pain. So when life throws its hardest punches, remember that resilience is your secret weapon. It's the quiet promise you make to yourself that no matter how fierce the storm, you will stand tall, you will heal, and you will rise. Because resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about transforming your suffering into a foundation for a stronger, more purposeful future. It's about holding on to hope, trusting in your inner strength, and knowing that every challenge is shaping you into the woman you are meant to become. Self-reliance is the next essential piece of this journey, and it's just as vital as resilience. To be truly self-reliant is to understand that your greatest power lies within you. It's about recognizing that despite what life throws your way, you are equipped to handle it. Self-reliance is not about arrogance or dismissing the help of others. It's about cultivating an inner confidence that says, I am enough. I have what it takes to navigate this world and to rebuild my life on my terms. Many women have been conditioned to believe that they need someone else to validate their worth, to complete them or to save them. Society often tells women that they are fragile, dependent, or incapable of standing on their own. But the truth is, strength is a choice. It's a daily decision to trust yourself, to listen to your intuition, and to believe in your ability to make decisions that honor your growth. Self-reliance begins with knowing your worth. It's about understanding that your value is not determined by external circumstances or by how others perceive you. It's rooted in the knowledge that you are inherently valuable because you exist. When you truly grasp your worth, you realize that you don't need to seek approval from anyone else to validate your existence. You are enough just as you are. Building self-reliance also involves taking responsibility for your life. It means owning your choices, learning from your mistakes, and refusing to play the victim. Instead, you see setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow stronger. Every obstacle you face is a chance to develop new skills, to deepen your faith, and to reinforce your resilience. You recognize that your power lies in your ability to adapt, to persevere, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. This journey of self-reliance requires intentional effort. It involves cultivating a mindset that says, I am the author of my story, and acting in alignment with that belief. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing your well-being, and investing in your personal growth. When you are self-reliant, you don't wait for others to come and save you. You become the hero of your own story. You learn to trust your own voice, to listen to your inner guidance, and to stand firm in your decisions. Faith plays a crucial role here because it fuels your confidence. When you have faith, whether in a divine power, in your own capabilities, or in the universe's abundant provision, you realize that you are never truly alone. This faith sustains you through moments of doubt and fear, reminding you that your strength is rooted not just in what you see, but in what you believe. It's the foundation that holds you steady when everything around you is shifting. Self-reliance is also about resilience in action. It's about waking up every day with a mindset that says, I can handle whatever comes my way. It's about trusting your instincts, making decisions that align with your purpose, and taking ownership of your life's direction. When you are self-reliant, you stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect before you step forward. Instead, you embrace imperfection and move courageously toward your goals. This kind of independence is liberating because it frees you from the shackles of dependency and fear. It empowers you to stand tall, even in the face of opposition or uncertainty. It reminds you that you are capable of creating a life that reflects your dreams, your values, and your unique purpose. Self-reliance is the key that unlocks your potential and allows you to walk confidently into your future. It's knowing that you are fully equipped to handle whatever challenges come your way. It's about cultivating a deep trust in yourself in the process. and in a higher power that guides you. When you combine resilience with self-reliance, you become unstoppable. You realize that even in the midst of chaos, your inner strength and faith are enough to carry you through. You understand that your life is a sacred journey, and you are the one responsible for steering it with courage, conviction, and unwavering hope. Vulnerability, it's a word that many women have been told to shy away from, to hide behind masks, to suppress because it's seen as a sign of weakness. But what if I told you that vulnerability is, in fact, one of the most powerful tools you possess on your journey of rebuilding? That true strength is found in your ability to open up, to face your fears, and to embrace your authentic self without apology. Vulnerability isn't about falling apart. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, fully, honestly, and without shame. It's about courageously exposing your wounds because you understand that healing begins when you no longer hide them. When life hits hard, and it often does when you're trying to rise again, it's tempting to shut down, to put up walls, to pretend everything is okay when inside you're hurting, confused, or overwhelmed. But the woman who is truly resilient knows that she cannot heal in secrecy. She understands that her scars are part of her story, and her story is what makes her beautifully unique. To be vulnerable is to accept that you are human, imperfect, fragile, yet resilient enough to face your truth. It takes strength to admit that you're hurting, to say, I don't have it all together, and to seek help or support when needed. Vulnerability is the birthplace of authenticity. When you embrace it, you give yourself permission to show up as you really are. Flaws, fears, frustrations, hopes, and all. You stop living for the applause of others or trying to fit into molds that don't belong to you. Instead, you step into your true self, unfiltered and unapologetic. That kind of authenticity is magnetic because it invites others to do the same. It creates a ripple of genuine connection, reminding every woman listening that she is not alone in her struggles, her doubts, or her fears. This openness is also a vital part of the healing process. When you hide your pain, it festers, it grows, and it can become a barrier to your growth. But when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create space for grace and healing to flow in. It's in that vulnerability that you find the courage to forgive yourself and others, to release shame, and to embrace your brokenness as part of your beautiful whole. It's about trusting that in sharing your story, in revealing your wounds, you give others permission to do the same. And in that shared vulnerability, there is strength, collective strength that reminds every woman she is part of a community of fighters, survivors, and thrivers. Vulnerability also calls for faith. Faith that your story, with all its ups and downs, is part of a divine plan. Faith that your tears are not wasted, they are watering the seeds of your future. Faith that your broken places are the very places where the grace can pour in and restore you. It's about trusting that even when you feel exposed, fragile, or uncertain, you are held in a divine love that never abandons. That kind of faith empowers you to step into your vulnerability with confidence, knowing that you are supported in ways that are often unseen but deeply felt. Rebuilding with purpose is the next vital step in this journey. It's about intentionally choosing to create a life that reflects your deepest desires and highest calling. When you've faced pain, setbacks, and loss, it can feel like everything is out of control, but purpose is the anchor that grounds you. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when the path is uncertain or difficult. To rebuild with purpose means to wake up each day with clarity about what truly matters. Your values, your dreams, your mission. It's about aligning your actions with your authentic self and refusing to settle for a life that doesn't reflect your true essence. Rebuilding with purpose requires reflection. It's about asking yourself the tough questions. What do I want my life to stand for? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Who am I really meant to become? It's about digging deep and discovering the passions, talents, and insights that make you uniquely you. When you reconnect with your purpose, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow closer to the life you're meant to live. You stop living for others' expectations and start living for your own divine purpose. This process involves intentionality. It's about setting goals that honor your growth and healing. It's about creating a vision board for your future, not based on anyone else's dreams, but your own. It's about writing a new story where you are the author, and your story is filled with hope, resilience, and purpose. When you rebuild with purpose, you understand that every setback was a setup for a comeback. Every challenge was a lesson, and every scar is a badge of honor that signifies your strength. Purpose also fuels your resilience. When life tries to knock you down, your purpose reminds you why you started and why you will keep going. It anchors you in the storms, giving you clarity and direction when everything around you feels chaotic. It's about waking up each morning with a renewed sense of mission, knowing that your life has meaning beyond your pain. Purpose transforms pain into power because it gives you a reason to keep fighting, to keep dreaming, and to keep becoming. In this process of rebuilding with purpose, you learn to celebrate small victories. You acknowledge the progress you make each day, no matter how minute it seems. Because every step forward is a testament to your resilience and your commitment to your transformation. You begin to see setbacks not as failures, but as essential parts of your journey, each one teaching you something new about yourself and your capacity to endure. This journey of purpose also calls you to be patient. Rebuilding doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process of growth, healing, and self-discovery. It's about trusting the timing of your life and knowing that every season has its purpose. You learn to lean into hope and to trust that the best is yet to come, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because when your heart is aligned with your purpose, every moment, every challenge, every triumph brings you closer to the woman you are becoming. Rebuilding with purpose isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about creating something new, something better, something that reflects the fullness of who you are. It's about turning pain into a runway for your greatness and walking confidently into the future that you are designing. When you do this, you realize that your story isn't over. It's just beginning again with new chapters filled with hope, faith, and divine purpose. There's a power that often goes unnoticed, a strength hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered in the quiet moments of our lives. That power is the willingness to surrender control, to release the illusion that we can manage everything on our own. Many women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, trying to do it all, to be everything for everyone, forgetting that true strength lies not in control, but in surrender. Surrender isn't about giving up. It's about trusting. It's about letting go of the need to always have the answers or to force outcomes. It's a declaration that you are no longer bound by the illusion that everything depends solely on your effort, that you are bigger than the chaos, and that there is a divine hand guiding your steps. When you learn to surrender, you create space for grace to step in. Grace is the unearned favor that lifts you above your circumstances, that reminds you that you are loved beyond your performance, that your worth isn't attached to your achievements or your ability to fix everything. Surrendering is a bold act of faith, of trusting that the universe, or divine power, is working in your favor even when you cannot see it. It's a recognition that you are part of a bigger story, one that is unfolding in ways you may not fully understand but can trust nonetheless. This act of surrender liberates you from the burden of perfection, from the stress of trying to control every outcome, and from the exhaustion of constant striving. Many women have been conditioned to believe that their strength is rooted in their independence, their ability to handle everything alone. But true strength stems from knowing when to let go, when to lean into divine guidance, and when to accept help. Surrendering doesn't diminish your power, amplifies it because it aligns you with divine wisdom, with grace, and with the flow of life. It's about recognizing that you are not meant to carry everything by yourself, that there is a divine partnership available to you, and that your greatest victories often come when you release the need to control every detail. Surrender is also about releasing the burden of past mistakes and regrets that weigh heavily on your heart. Holding on to the pain of what could have been or what should have been only keeps you stuck. When you surrender those burdens, you give yourself permission to heal, to forgive, and to move forward unencumbered. Forgiveness is a vital part of this process because it frees your soul from the chains of bitterness and resentment. Forgiveness isn't about excusing the wrongs done to you. It's about choosing peace over pain, release over regret, and freedom over captivity. When you forgive, you reclaim your power and open your heart to healing and growth. Surrender also involves trusting the timing of your life. Often, we want everything to happen immediately. Our dreams, our breakthroughs, our healing. But life has a divine rhythm, a sacred timing that is often beyond our understanding. Learning patience is part of surrendering. It's about trusting that what is meant for you will come at the right time, that every delay is a divine setup for something greater. Patience isn't passive, it's active trust. A declaration that you believe in the goodness of life and that what is meant for you will not pass you by. When you surrender to divine timing, you release the anxiety of trying to force outcomes and instead embrace the peace that comes from trusting everything is working together for your good. Letting go of control and trusting divine timing requires a shift in perspective. It's about seeing setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones to your destiny. When you surrender, you begin to view life through the lens of faith and hope, understanding that even your pain and disappointment are part of a greater purpose. Every challenge becomes a classroom, every obstacle a lesson, and every heartbreak a chapter that prepares you for something even better. Surrendering means trusting that your story isn't over yet, that the best is yet to come, and that sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply to believe that the universe is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. There is a divine rhythm that moves in harmony with your surrender, a sacred flow that carries you into the next season of your life. When you surrender, you align yourself with this flow, allowing life to unfold naturally rather than forcing it into your own limited understanding. This alignment brings peace, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. It's in that place of surrender that you discover your true strength, not the strength to control everything, but the strength to trust, to hope, and to believe that your life is in divine hands. As you practice surrender, you also begin to see opportunities for renewal. Each ending becomes a new beginning when you relinquish control and trust divine timing. You realize that sometimes what feels like a loss is actually a redirection. What appears to be a setback is often a setup for something greater. Surrender opens your eyes to the possibilities you never imagined, and it invites divine wisdom to lead your path. It's a daily practice, an act of faith that, with each surrender, you are making room for miracles, for new dreams to take root, and for your life to be reimagined in ways that surpass your expectations. Surrender is not a one-time act, but a continual posture of the heart. It's about waking up each day and choosing to trust again, to let go again, and to believe again. It's about cultivating a mindset that says, I am not in control of everything, but I trust the one who is. When you surrender, you release the need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders and instead lean into the divine strength that sustains you. This act of surrender transforms your perspective from one of scarcity and control to one of abundance and trust. It's a declaration that you believe in the power of divine grace to guide your steps and to bring beauty out of brokenness. In surrender, you find freedom. Freedom from the lie that you have to do everything yourself, freedom from the burden of perfectionism, and freedom from the fear that life is happening without you. You come to understand that surrender is a gift you give yourself, a gift of peace, hope, and renewed faith. It's the surrender that opens the door to divine intervention, to unexpected blessings, and to a life that flows with purpose and grace. When you learn to surrender, you unlock a power that is greater than your own effort, a power that lifts you into a place of divine alignment and eternal hope. Now, shifting into the next chapter of this journey, we come to the importance of cultivating inner strength through faith and perseverance, especially when the road gets tough, because the truth is resilience, surrender, and purpose are powerful, but they are tested in the fire. It's in those moments of challenge that your true character is revealed, that your faith is strengthened, and that your perseverance becomes a testament to your unwavering hope. When life pushes you to your limits, it's your internal resolve, rooted in divine assurance, that carries you through. It's about holding on to the promise that no matter how fierce the storm, you have within you a divine resilience that refuses to be broken. It's about standing firm in the knowledge that your faith is not just a belief, but a fortress that shields you from despair and propels you toward your destiny. Perseverance isn't just about enduring, it's about thriving in the midst of adversity. It's about waking up each day with a renewed commitment to your dreams. Even when obstacles seem insurmountable, perseverance is often born out of hope, out of the deep conviction that your breakthrough is imminent, that your healing is unfolding, and that your story is still being written. Every setback, every disappointment, every heartbreak is an essential part of your story, one that is being shaped by divine hands into something extraordinary. When you persevere, you are telling the universe that you believe in your divine purpose, that you refuse to give up, and that you trust that your greatest victories are on the other side of your persistence. Faith is the fuel that sustains perseverance. It's the unseen force that whispers, "Keep going," when your flesh is tired and your spirit is weary. Faith is what keeps your eyes fixed on the promise, even when the present looks bleak. It's about trusting that the divine is working behind the scenes, orchestrating your comeback, and preparing you for a future you haven't yet seen. Faith and perseverance walk hand in hand, reminding you that every delay has a divine purpose, and every trial is a training ground for your character. Perseverance also requires patience. It's about knowing that growth takes time and that the most valuable things in life often require a process of refinement. When you persevere, you learn to embrace the waiting, to find joy in the journey, and to trust that your perseverance is building something beautiful within you. It's about developing resilience that is rooted not just in strength, but in grace, allowing you to move forward with humility and hope. Perseverance is the evidence of your faith in action, a declaration that you believe in the divine timing of your life and that you are committed to walking the path, even when it's hard. The journey of perseverance calls for a mindset shift. It's about replacing doubt with faith, frustration with hope, and fear with trust. It's about declaring, I will not give up, even when the road feels long and the night feels dark, because in those moments, your perseverance is forging your character, strengthening your resolve, and preparing you for the blessings ahead. It's in the perseverance that you discover your true power, the power to withstand, to endure, and to emerge victorious. When you persevere, you are not only shaping your future, but also inspiring others to keep going, to hold on, and to believe that their breakthrough is near. As you walk this path of perseverance, remember that divine strength is always available to you. It's the strength that lifts you when you're weak, that sustains you when you're tired, and that reminds you that you are never alone in your fight. So your faith is your anchor, your perseverance your shield, and your unwavering hope your compass. Together, they form a foundation that no storm can shake, a testament that your resilience is rooted in divine love, and that your story is still unfolding in ways beyond what you can imagine. Keep going, because your perseverance is paving the way for a future filled with purpose, promise, and divine grace.